Yo. What's going on, man? Top of the morning. Today is March the 12th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show where I am live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well, man. Feeling the vibes this morning. It's been a pretty good couple really good days in a row, and hopefully we can kind of keep those going, starting the week off right. Link to all the official plays link to all my official plays when I make them are in the description, and the OzJam promo code is also in the description. I know sports gambling got legalized yesterday in North Carolina, so shout out to Carolina. Hopefully we get some new members from the Carolina, hopefully new viewers, new members, all that good stuff from Carolina. And if you're watching from Carolina, I'm just up the street. I'm in VA as well. I got a lot of family down there, so I go to South Carolina a lot of the times to visit my family. Follow me on Twitter if you guys aren't, and definitely check out the videos on YouTube because I'm streaming on both platforms right now. Where's the money? We are going to try and get to it, man. For today, it's a bunch of games on the board, and I will say, even though there are a bunch of games in this slate, it's a lot better than yesterday. I don't think that, in my opinion, it's not. It's still some injury stuff that's going on that we got to make sure that we're aware of before locking in some of these plays. So I handicapped the games yesterday afternoon, but I didn't make a ton of plays. I made one, and we'll talk about that one and some other ways that I'm kind of looking towards today. So we're just going to jump right into it. Yesterday, we are coming off a 1-0 day yesterday. We just took Phoenix early, minus the 2.5. I don't know if they closed. I don't think they closed it. They cashed the late line. I think it was end up closing at minus 6.5, minus 7, something like that. And they barely struggled to do that. It wasn't until the fourth quarter they turned the ball over a lot. But whatever the case might be, I think it's four in a row now, almost up, close to 30. Close to 40 units. We just need a couple more units to get to 40. Like I said, we're pushing for 60. So we got a long way to go still. But hopefully we still got time to get there. With a month left in the season, kind of up in the unit size towards the end of this season as we get more confident and we see these teams in more motivational spots. So we'll see what happens. I know we did it last year. So let's get to it. First game up, man. We got the Knicks. They will be at the crib, getting 6. They're laying 6.5 points. This line actually opened at 4.5. So if you want the Knicks, you got the worst of the number. Some interesting. Of course, these two teams just played, and this. I think this game today is going to be nothing like the game from Sunday. You see Philly come in there, they win the game outright. The Knicks had just held the Orlando Magic on Friday to season low 74 points. Season low, like for all NBA teams, 74 points, and then they get held by the Philadelphia 76ers to 73 points, which is a new season low for any NBA team. So the differences in this game, of course, is the Knicks, we'll start with Philly. They get Maxey back. So that's big. I know the total is dropping in this one from 212 down to 208.5 is what I see. 208s as well. I don't agree with that. I know on the opposite side, OG Anunoby could return, and he is defense. He is the definition of what defense is. He's listed as questionable, not officially going to play, but Maxey is going to be back. Philly they have Milwaukee on Thursday, so a big game coming up. But this is a big game as well, especially when they want to be at least physical and feisty, and that's what we saw from this Philadelphia team after they were getting smoked in that game at home against the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. They did come back. They made a big comeback in that game, and that defense kind of translated to the Garden, where they played the Knicks really, really well. Jalen Brunson said he shot like shh. But and he did. I expect the offenses to be a little bit better in this one. Couple things I looked at was, and I know Philly's offense hasn't been good, but like I said, with Maxey coming back, that's the only way I would look in this one. Would probably play the over. I think if you want the Knicks, the number might be a little too big at this point. I consider Knicks first half. Since the All-Star break, Philly is 28th in points scored per 100 possessions, 30th in effective field goal percentage, and they're shooting free throws at the 22nd rate as well. The strength is that they're 11th in offensive rebounding. The Knicks have been giving up a ton of offensive rebounds as well. They actually ranked 25th in opponent offensive rebounds. Philly, they foul at the third highest rate. And I think that they just play so much faster with Maxey being there. So the way I look for over. The Knicks also have major advantages in the half court as far as being able to slow down this Philadelphia team. But Philly, like I said, they've been without Joel Embiid and Maxey and Milton and Covington and all of those guys. But I really think that Philly, I think that they'll be able to score. I think that this game we play with pace. The Knicks don't typically play with too much pace, but I think 208 is just super low. Maxey being back is going to hinder that defense for Philly, and it's actually going to help their offense a lot as well. So I'd be looking towards the over if I was playing this one. I haven't locked it in. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't know that Maxey was going to come back. I saw him listed as questionable. And then when I got up this morning and started handicapping the games and looking a little deeper, that's when I saw that he was listed as they said that he was going to return. So no play for me on the side. Lean Knicks early. I think that they, bounce back and also would look towards the over, even with OG Anunoby being back. I think he can help their offense. Their offense has been terrible as well. Also while helping the defense. So next game up, got the Wizards. They will be in Memphis today, in Memphis tonight. This line actually opened with them. The Wizards were actually 1-point dogs. And then you see the news come out about the players for the Memphis Grizzlies that's not going to play in this one. So Memphis, and this is a game that I'm not going to spend too much time on. This is a game I absolutely don't really like at all. Landry Shamet listed as questionable. I don't think he played in that game. The Wizards are actually coming off back-to-back wins, which that's kind of surprising. They beat the Miami Heat, which we did. I said the plus 11.5 was good money on Sunday, but didn't quite get there myself. And they also have Rashad Holmes, who's listed as questionable. He didn't play in that game either. No idea what's going on with Marvin Bagley. I know he's missed like the last 4 or 5 games. Not sure what's going on with him. Still suffering from those lower back spasms, I think. And then on the Wizards side, then on the Memphis side, they did already kind of rule out. They ruled out Jared Jackson Jr. They ruled out Vince Williams Jr. And, if I went through the whole injury report, the show would last 4 hours. So I'm not going to do that. What I will say is that the Wizards on the road as dogs, we talked about it on Sunday. They're cashing above 60% now. But I don't know if I want them as a favorite. I do not know if I want them as a favorite. Now, do they have a lot more offense than this Memphis Grizzlies team? Absolutely. Do they have enough? Do they have as much defense? Man, does Memphis want to win this game? Who wants to win the game? The Wizards, probably want to. I mean, they've lost enough games, and especially with Detroit winning yesterday. Detroit got another win, so maybe Washington wants to win and win 3 games in a row. I have no idea what to do with this game. The first time that they played, I vividly remember this. Actually on my birthday back in October. The Wizards were on the second leg of a back-to-back, and they were traveling to DC. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna take the over in this game. And I took the over, and they went under. It was 229. The Wizards actually won that game 113-106. They've actually won the last 2 games in the head-to-head matchup between these 2 teams. No idea what to do with this game, man. Memphis, this is the first leg of a back-to-back. They host Charlotte on Wednesday, but I don't know what to do with this one, man. Like I said, the Wizards have better offense, even though their offense could be stagnant, but Memphis definitely has the better defense. I'm tossing on this one. I'll pass this one with grace. No idea what I want to do with that one. Let's go to Let's go to OKC. So we got the Indiana Pacers. They'll be on the road. This line actually opened up at 5.5 yesterday, and this was the one that I really wanted the most. I really wanted to hop on the Thunder when they opened because I knew it was going to get steamed in their direction. Do I feel like they're the right side? Probably so. Total also got steamed up, opened at 236. All the way up to 241 now. It's coming back down to 240, and I agree with the movement coming back down. I don't think that this is going to be necessarily. I know these 2 teams play with pace, but OKC is not a team that lets up on the defensive end. So I don't think that maybe it's Pacers team total under. But let's get into it. And the reason why I didn't take the Thunder when they open at 5.5 was because Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams, both of the Jalen Williams, matter of fact, on the injury report, but the one that starts, Santa Clara, Jalen Williams, is actually listed as questionable. He actually stepped on the cameraman's ankle in the second quarter of that game against the Memphis Grizzlies on Sunday. For OKC, it'll be a 3rd straight home game. They actually got a big game against Dallas coming up in 2 days as well on Thursday. And then for Indiana, they got Jalen Smith listed as questionable. Of course, Ben Mathurin's out for the season, and it's the first leg of a back-to-back. The Pacers aren't necessarily that bad on the road. They're 17-14-1 against the spread on the road, about 55%. They've been excellent on the first leg of back-to-backs as well. They're 8-3. 8-3 straight up, 9-2 against the spread. And OKC, I did my homework. Without Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams, Santa Clara, on the floor, they're plus 11 in points scored per 100 possessions. They have an offensive efficiency of 124.2 and a defensive efficiency of 113. Compared to with him on the floor, they're plus 6.7 in points scored per 100 possessions, 118.7 offensive rating and a 112 defensive rating. So crazy as it seems, they actually play better without Jalen Williams in the game. That's absolutely insane. OKC has been the second most profitable team this season behind only Orlando. When you look at ATS records overall, they're the second most profitable home team, 22-10 against the spread, 68.8%. They're also 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread as home favorites since the All-Star break, with wins coming by 22, 41, 17, 31, and 7. So looking at the matchup advantages, Indiana will struggle. I think the only thing the analytics tell me that the way that Indiana can keep this game close is by offensive rebounding. We know that the Thunder are not the greatest rebounding team, and that's the department where they can struggle at times. But everything else, offense, even offense, like OKC is like top 3, and Indiana is, of course, as well. But the defensive metrics are crazy. I think the Thunder typically win home games by about 10 points per game, whereas Indiana on the road, they typically, I want to say they lose by about a point on average. Also, one more thing I'll mention real quick. OKC is 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread as home favorites against teams with a 50% win percentage or higher in non-conference games. So they get up for all of these games, and we know that they are battling with this team is battling with Denver, who won last night. So, trying to keep up with Denver, and Minnesota, who we'll talk about in a second, but they've lost 2 games in a row. So look, OKC has a legit chance to win the Western Conference, and they'll definitely need a game like this. Will they need to win it by 7? I think that they can. Like I said, I just got a little hesitant because I want Jalen Williams, and if I do lay the 7 points here. So no official play for me on this one, but I definitely lean towards the Thunder. Pacers got a really big win against Orlando, and we backed them on Sunday. Orlando can struggle to score the ball. OKC, not so much. Also, from a player prop perspective, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has to be looked at in this game. I haven't played any Shai Gilgeous-Alexander props, but we know that he scores a ton of points in the paint. Indiana bleeds points in the paint to whoever, right? And I don't think Shai's going to have a matchup that's going to deter him from being able to get to the rim in this spot. If Indiana can keep the game close, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can score 45, 50 points in this game. This is that type of game, especially with the pace that the Pacers play at. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander props, I need to look a little bit deeper into it, see where I can find the best number, but probably just look at his points. But yeah, got to like Shai in this one, and we'll keep it pushing. Next game up, we have, who we got? We got the Rockets and the Spurs. Game will be played in San Antonio. They actually opened as 3.5-point dogs, and the total opened at 224. You guys see now that they're 4-point dogs, and the total is 222.5. So money come in on the under a little bit, and a little bit of money come in on Houston. So of course, big news for Houston is Alfred Sengun. I haven't seen him rolled out, but probably not going to play. He left that game on Sunday in a wheelchair. And thank God, man, I'm happy for him. I saw Woj tweet that he missed the worst of what it could have been, because it did look really, really bad. So I think he's diagnosed with a severe ankle sprain. Probably gonna miss the day. I also saw that Ken Whitmore is also out for the Houston Rockets. That's scary to me. And I know Houston has been good. We talked about backing them plus the 6.5 on Sunday against the against the Sacramento Kings, and they go win the game outright, man. The tides are kind of turning. They were turning in Houston, where they couldn't cover on the road, and they've covered, I think, 3 out of their, what is it? I think 4 straight road games, maybe. I know that they've won 4 of their last 5, and they've covered 6 straight altogether. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. So Houston has been really, really good. I went and did some deep digging with Sengun on the floor and off the floor. They're actually only a plus 0.3 in points scored per 100 possession without Sengun on the floor. Their offensive scoring production is about 110.4 points per 100 possessions, but they're giving up 110.1 without him on the floor. They're plus 1.3 with them on the floor, with their offensive rating skyrocketed into about a 115.2, and the defense 113.8 with them on the floor. So without Sengun, their offense takes a hit, but they do play a little bit better defense, which under in the spot. The reason why I didn't get there because I want to see what happens with Victor Wembanyama. He played in the game last night against the Warriors. And even before the game, Coach Popovich said that he was uncertain for today's game. Also, same thing with Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell came back after missing the game against the Golden State Warriors in Oakland. But now we got to wait on the status for him as well. I didn't see any update status. San Antonio had actually been hooping. They were 7-3, straight up 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. So 7-4 now after not covering last night. They had actually covered 5 of their last 6, so make that 5 of their last 7. They are not the greatest team on the second leg of a back-to-back. Now, granted, they're a young, youthful team. I think probably the youngest team in the NBA, but only 2-8 straight up, 4-6 against the spread when they're unrested this season, losing by an average of 11 points. Their defensive numbers are really, really bad. So, maybe even a Houston team total over, even though I like the under a little bit more, they rank bottom 5 in pretty much every offensive. Well, you know what? I got it right here. So Houston, 2-1 straight up and against the spread versus San Antonio this season. They lost the first game of the season. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was actually played in San Antonio. That game went to overtime, and they lost that one. Then they won back-to-back after that. They catch San Antonio on the second leg of a back-to-back, and granted, they are, like I said, a really young team, San Antonio is, but they rank bottom 5 or 10 in opponent points scored per 100 possessions, opponent effective field goal percentage, opponent offensive rebound percentage, and opponent free throw rate. They're also 20th in offensive turnover percentage, so turn the ball over a lot, which should help Houston get out in transition and score some easy buckets without Sengun in this one. So it's Houston and nothing for me, but kind of want to wait and see what the news happens with Sengun and with Devin Vassell. Also, one trend I looked at was rested road favorites facing an unrested opponent this season, 39-15 straight up. That's 72%. Says that probably should have just laid the 3.5. But like I said, got to see what happens with the, wait and see what happens with the number. Don't like it as much, like I said, without Cam Whitmore being there and without Sengun. That to me, that's a lot of offense that's gone. So probably look towards the under. Houston still playing slow. Defense has been playing really, really good. But like I said, I will have to wait and see what happens with Vassell and with Victor Wembanyama. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let's keep going. Next game up, and I definitely don't have a lot on this. You got the Boston Celtics. They did win last night. So second leg of a back-to-back. They beat Portland by damn near 30. You got to wait on the injury report in this one, though. Probably not going to play everybody. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum did play last night. Porzingis was out. Al Horford's probably going to miss tonight's game, even because he played last night. He doesn't play too many back-to-backs. And Drew Holiday missed last night. Not sure if he's going to return. Boston is good on the second leg of back-to-back games for whatever it's worth. They're 8-2 straight up, 6-4 against the spread with an average margin of about 12 points. That's what they're winning by. However, they are just 3-2 straight up and 3-2 against the spread when playing on the second leg of a back-to-back on the road. I'm not sure what to do with this Utah team. They've already ruled Hendricks out. They've already ruled Lauri Markkanen out. I don't know what to do with Utah, man. I think that I know that they know that they're not making the playoffs, which is why Lauri Markkanen continues to rest. They probably just may even shut him down for the rest of the season. But 7, 3 possessions, and Utah typically get a little feisty at home. Maybe Boston first half. Boston, I did look into this as well. Boston, if it's a place that they struggle to play, it is Utah. For whatever reason, I think they've lost back-to-back games in Utah. And of course, those Utah teams were a tad bit different, but I will say that let's look at that real quick. Let me just look at that real quick. Team real quick. Let's look at that. So yeah, they're 0-2 straight up, 1-1 against the spread in their last 2 meetings to Utah. They lost 130 to 120, 130 to 137 in 2021. And then in 2022, they actually didn't play. But in 2023, March last season, they lost 117 to 118. So for whatever reason, and I'm not saying the Jazz going to win the game, but I think that they could, potentially keep this one close, man. Also, I wanted to look at, just because I just thought about it, I wanted to see this season. I wanted to see teams that have to play the Jazz on the second leg of a back-to-back in Utah. So Celtics are the 15 to have to play Utah on the second leg of a back-to-back in Utah. 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the spread are all three of the teams. Pelicans lost straight up, Pacers lost straight up, Bucks lost straight up. The Warriors won. We were on the Warriors in that. That was right before the All-Star break, and the Lakers won. Yeah, so nothing really there. Celtics can do whatever they want in this game, but wait on the injury report. I'm not gonna take too much more time on that game. Next game up, probably one of the better games on the board, but another game you kind of gotta wait for the injury status for is the Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Minnesota, of course, didn't have to travel. They're coming back. They'll be in LA, which is where they were on Sunday when they lost to the Lakers. And the injury report is stifling in this one, man. Timberwolves, of course, were without Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson, and Monte Morris in that last game. Anthony Edwards also on the injury report in this one. Three of those guys, and of course, Cat continues to be out. This Timberwolves team they've been struggling, starting that road trip. They went to Cleveland, lost that game outright. In a game that I actually backed them on the second leg of a back-to-back. They did beat the Indiana Pacers, but they've struggled with these teams that play defense since the All-Star break in general. 5-5 straight up are the Timberwolves since the All-Star break. Just 2-8 against the spread since the All-Star break. 2-game losing streak because they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost to the Lakers. The one thing that I will say, if Minnesota gets all their guys rolled in, I think the spread is a tad bit too big. I know that the Clippers should play well in this spot, but the Clippers are the Timberwolves don't play again until Saturday. So they can really go all out in this game. They play the Utah Jazz on Saturday. Probably want to get back on their winning ways. And I don't think that they have enough to win this game without Karl-Anthony Towns being there. This is the third road game of a 5-game road trip for them. So they actually play Utah 2 times after this game in Utah coming up this weekend. For the Clippers, PG and Kawhi probably return. Not 100% sure if those guys will play. I'm pretty sure they'll play because the Clippers, I think, are still, kind of gunning as well. They still want to get their best record in the Western Conference, and they'll need to, because I do anticipate with Denver winning yesterday and with with OKC, I'm projecting them to win tonight. The Clippers will need to win this game. This is the last game of a 3-game homestand for them before they travel to Chicago on Thursday. This team also is just 5-5 straight up since the All-Star break, 3-7 against the spread. In theory, I would say that they do have the rest advantage because PG and Kawhi didn't play in that game on Sunday because they played in the game on Saturday against the Milwaukee Bucks. So that could be a little bit of an advantage for the Clippers in the spot. But all in all, I do think you got to wait on the injury report. And this one has already moved. Like I wanted to play the Clippers, but when the line came out and I saw it last night at 6.5, I was like, whoa, that's a tad bit too many points. So it went up to 7. I'm not sure if it touched 7.5 or not while I was asleep, but it's back down to 7. And I think that that's a few too many points, I would say, if the Timberwolves get all their players ruled in. So wait on the injury report in this one. I will say that the total, even though this one is super low, it opened at 218 down to 215 already. We'll probably agree with the movement there. Timberwolves have been a really good defensive team. This Clippers team defense has actually struggled recently. They've been giving it up. Outside of that game against Chicago, they gave it up to the Bucks, but the Bucks were on the second leg of the Clippers were on the second leg of a back-to-back in that one. This Clippers defense has not been as great. So I think the total might be a tad bit too low at this point. I know that all of the games, the last 4 meetings have actually gone to the under. All 3 of the meetings this season have actually gone to the under as well. But I think 215 might be a tad bit too low. I know that these teams can, struggle to score, especially that Clippers that Clippers offense. I'm sorry, not the Clippers offense. The Timberwolves offense can struggle to score, but the Clippers, I think that they could struggle to defend. Their defense has not been as good since the All-Star break. So we'll see what happens there. Timberwolves are 2-1 straight up on this season series. They won both of the 2 early games, and then of course the Clippers beat them. I think it's like 89-88 in Minnesota about 2.5 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens with the injury report in that game, but I would be taking the points with the Timberwolves, thinking that the Clippers win this game by 5 or 4 or 5, not by 7. If all those guys play, like I said, it's a laundry list of injury players with Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson, and Monte Morris all being listed as questionable. Let's get over here to the last game on the board for today. The last game on the board is the Milwaukee Bucks. They will be in Sacramento taking on this Kings team. And this is the game that I did play. This actually opened with the Kings laying a point, shifted really, really quickly down to a pick, moved to 1, moved to 1.5, moved to 2. Now it's up to 2.5. And I jumped on the Bucks last night. Not I don't love the play. I'll say that first and foremost. It's not even a full unit play, but I did take the Bucks on the money line here. I just think that first and foremost, just kind of looking at the spot, Milwaukee. Not the greatest road team, just 17-16 straight up. They actually still don't have a winning ATS record, just 14-19 against the spread on the road. But one thing I did look at, they're just 1-2 on this West Coast road trip. Remember that first game against Golden State, they got smoked. Then they played the Lakers off a day's rest and got smoked. Then they beat a Clippers team on the second leg of a that was on the second leg of a back-to-back. So I think that they want to finish this West Coast road trip off strong. This will be the last game before they return home. Hosting Philly on Thursday. They are 7-3 against the spread in the last 10 games. Their defense is kind of faltered. That's the one thing that made me a little, I don't know, man, because I watched, them really, struggle to score and couldn't really guard Golden State. Same thing with the Lakers. They really couldn't guard in that game either. It was D'Angelo Russell who looked like Steph Curry in that game against them. And then even against the shorthanded Clippers team, it took them to get all the way into the fourth quarter. So, for them to be able to really kind of put their foot on the gas in that spot, really just playing a ton of offense. They haven't been locked in like they were on the defensive end in their recent games. The Sacramento team on the other side, 17-12 straight up, just 11-18 against the spread at home. They also just 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. They really, really struggled against these. I said it on yesterday's show, recapping that game against Houston on Sunday. They really struggled against defensive teams. And we know that Milwaukee can be a really good defensive team. I also looked at this will just be the Kings' third time as a home dog, at home. Well, of course, at home in Sacramento, they're 1-1 straight up and against the spread with a win against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but a loss against the Clippers. Head to head, the Bucks have dominated this matchup. They've won 10 straight games. They also 10-0 to the over in the last 10 matchups as well. As you see this total, which opened at 235.5, go up to 236. I think the Bucks defense is I don't know, man. But I don't know if I'd take the over in this spot. It should be an over game. Kings coming off, just inconsistent play, man. That's the thing about the Kings that makes it really hard to back them. When will they play well? When will they not play well? They were held to like 105 points, 107 points, and we know if they can't score on offense, you definitely can't trust them on defense. To the Houston Rockets in their last game, so that kind of scares me. If I wanted to back the Kings, which is why, like I said, I played the Bucks. Not the biggest play, but based on injury news and injury implication, that's the only way I would look in this spot. Would be looking towards the Bucks. They got major. When we look at it from an analytics perspective, they got major advantages of scoring, points in the paint. The defense also has been really, really good against the three, and they've been kind of clogging up the paint as well. So I think it should be pretty difficult for guys like De'Aaron Fox. Hopefully Patrick Beverley comes out there, put his imprint on this game. And I'm not sure what the Sacramento Kings are going to be able to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo, especially if, somebody like Sabonis gets into foul trouble. They also got big bodies to throw at Sabonis. You got Brook Lopez. So, like I said, I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I do like the Bucks. Like I said, I took them on the money line last night. Only play that I gave out officially was the Bucks money line, minus 130 is what I played. All right. 30 minutes. I got to get up out of here. Almost 400 people watching live. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Hit the like button for me if you can. Milwaukee, like I said, top play of the day for myself. Not a super big play, though. That's the only thing I played so far. But it's a lot more plays I want to make, man. I already talked about these, but you guys see the short list. Philly and New York to go over to 208. I like that one a lot. That's also a TNT game. So I think we see Maxey a lot of pace. The Knicks defense has been faltering just a tad bit. And that Philly defense, I'm not buying what they're selling defensively in the last couple games. I don't think that their defense is that good. And then Houston, San Antonio, I talked about this one as well. I think it goes under the 222 with no Sengun, no Cam Whitmore. I see that being an ugly, hard-fought game. Houston kind of controlling the pace. But, like I said, you got to wait on Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama because both of those guys could play. Both of them could miss. If they play, this number will probably go up. And then I still like the under. And If they don't play, I'll probably try to jump on the under as soon as they get rolled out. So those are the top plays for myself, man. I hope you guys have a great day today. Cash all the bets that you play. Here's some resources for you guys. This is what I'm using to kind of handicap the games. So if you guys are interested, definitely check those out. And that's all I got, man. Hit the like button for me if you guys enjoyed the show. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Turn the notification bell on. Do all that good stuff. Best of luck today on all your action. Make sure you're betting responsibly. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I will be back. I'll be back at 5 p.m. Eastern time because we will have a full slate. Yesterday, that slate was so trash, I decided not even do a 5 p.m. show. I was like, the people appreciate me more if I just go ahead and get ahead for tomorrow versus talking about those games yesterday. Did not like a lot of those games. But best of luck today, man. I'll catch you guys at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm out.